A Beechcraft King Air 350i is on its final approach to its destination airport in Land's End, England. But the plane starts going down inside of a lost cloud. How will they manage to do this? And how will they get out? Stay tuned. So, the captain of the aircraft was 42 years old and has had 9,500 flight hours in total, and most of it on the Beechcraft family, with around 8,500 flight hours on the Beechcraft family. The first officer was quite new. He was 29 years old and has only had 1,500 flight hours, with 500 flight hours on the Beechcraft family. The plane is a brand new Beechcraft King Air 350i that was only built a few months prior to the accident. Since the accident occurred on March 11th, 2011, and the plane was built on January 12th of the same year. At Land's End, the plane takes off completely normally and takes off as planned, but there is a massive cloud in the way of the plane's path. The plane has no choice but to go right into the thundercloud. The captain of the Beechcraft already has some difficulties flying the plane inside of the thundercloud, as bright flashes surround the plane's path, and one of them almost hits the aircraft. Inside the plane's cockpit, there is difficulties, but the plane departs the cloud with no problem whatsoever. The plane is completely fine with it, but the plane descends quickly because of a lightning flash that hits the plane. But the captain is very experienced of flying a Beechcraft King Air 350i and stabilizes it right away. The plane goes out of the cloud with no problem whatsoever, and behind it is bright flashes and a beautiful sight to see. But ahead of them was another large cloud, but also has no problem. The plane lands safely at the island destination. At the island airport, the plane takes off completely normally once again, but once it departs, it is way more humid than it was usually. The plane does overshoot the runway slightly, but it has no problems. But it would be no problem later because the plane never manages to get to the airport. The first officer asks the pilot if they should go in the cloud, but the captain says yes, but this would be a problem later on. Once the plane enters the cloud, there are bright flashes once again, also known as lightning. Again, it is a very nice, humid view, but not for long as the plane goes inside of the cloud. Bright flashes engulf the plane's cockpit once again, but the pilot thought this was a bad idea and just nods his head at the co-pilot, but then it was too late and the plane has already entered the cloud. But then something terrifying happens. The plane overspeeds and the plane is stalling. And to the pilot's horror, he saw that the plane was descending very quickly. He tries to level out and misses the sea at 500 feet despair. But this would be a problem much later. Outside of the plane, the visibility is almost none, as the plane is struggling to take control, as lightning is striking around the plane everywhere. He didn't know which way was up, down, left, or right, so this was quite a problem for him. The captain banks to the right to see which way is an exit, but then in front of him thinks it is an exit of the cloud, but then the plane veers to the left very softly, and then something much more tragic happens. The plane goes up by about 8,000 feet per minute, and then the plane is restabilized, but then the plane encounters some severe turbulence. Eventually they get contact with the ATC at Land's End, but then something tragic happens. Since he doesn't know where he's going whatsoever, the plane stalls down because of over speeding. But eventually they start getting recontrolling, but then eventually the plane veers to the left and goes down very fast. The captain says to the ATC that we're going down, ATC. As the captain starts leveling out the plane impacts with the water, instantly killing everyone inside. All 4 passengers and 2 cockpit crew members perish during the impact. The crash site plane was found by a local vlogger that was controlling a drone over the ocean when he found a plane on the sea floating but also sinking. So he reported it to the local airport. Investigators at the local airport think that the pilot got lost inside of the cloud, and then heavy hail came down and stalled the aircraft, and then the plane crashed at the scene. They also guess that the pilot got lost in the cloud, and then lightning hit the plane, causing it to stall down. But that was very unlikely because planes can withstand lightning strikes on the plane's wings, fuselage, and everywhere around the plane. Investigators are still trying to figure out why the plane stalled down and crashed near Land's End.